Hello, this is Philip Nichols, and on this channel we post videos about science and culture from a Christian perspective. And in today's video, we will be starting a brand spanking new series. I'm gonna call it Proof God Exists. And we will be stepping on so many toes, I'm guessing, and I apologize in advance. But in today's video in particular, we probably won't be stepping on too many. Because I hope we agree on this video. I hope it will be very helpful. The most common question I get asked from agnostics and atheists is something along the lines of, what is the best evidence that God exists? I've seen Christians ask a question that's similar, like, give me the best evidence for evolution. What's the biggest reason you don't believe in God? And these questions are totally useless. Here's why. First of all, they are probably asking this question not for a productive conversation, but to destroy you. They just want to hear your best evidence, so they're ready with a refutation so they can knock it out. And then if they knock out your best evidence, they're thinking, hey, I can convince them. And I don't want to sound like I'm judging too much, because I'm sure I've asked this question before and didn't think through exactly what I was doing. And if you're asking questions like these, I hope you will reconsider after watching this video. Secondly, this does not have really an answer. This question is totally subjective. Someone's best evidence could be laughingstock for somebody else. I'll give you an example here. Someone could be taken away from faith in God by seeing people measure the dates of rocks and bones and see millions of years, and that might convince them as strong proof. But to me, when I look into this, it strengthens my faith in God and confirms to me that this earth is not millions of years old. Their tactics should be nowhere near the word science. You see where I'm getting at here? This guy's best evidence is this guy's laughingstock. Thirdly, most people don't have best evidence up their sleeve that they're always ready to say, hey, here's my best evidence right here. That is not usually there. Like, I'm not even sure what I would say if I was confronted by someone in person who asked me this. I would probably say something like the Bible, because I do consider the Bible to be the best evidence for God to exist. But at the same time, it's almost not even a fair answer, because the Bible covers like all the topics of history, archaeology, fulfilled prophecies, science, and so much more. It's like a flood of evidence. It's not just one little thing about the Bible that I'm like, ooh, that's the one little proof right there that the Bible proves God's existence. It's not just one thing. But fourthly, even if I did have a good answer up my sleeve that I consider to be my best evidence, if I do answer it, then when they try and refute it, I'm just gonna dig my heels in, because he asked for my best evidence, I gave it to him, and he's gonna try and refute my best evidence. This is my best evidence. I'm not just gonna let him throw it away. I'm gonna defend it. This is gonna get nowhere. I guess a slight upgrade to this question is saying something like, can you give me one proof that God exists? Give me 3 proofs that the earth is millions of years old. It'd be different if it was like a pre-planned script that I had, and I just could be like, okay, evidence 1, lay out my evidence. Evidence number 2, lay it out. Like, not very many people are gonna have that prepared, and even if they do, it's gonna be kind of a chunky conversation that's kind of just like, you give me your evidence, I'm gonna fight against it. Basically similar problems, just on a smaller scale. So here's what I suggest. This is the best question that I could think of to start a good productive conversation. You could say something like, why do you believe what you believe? Why do you believe that God exists? Why do you believe that God doesn't exist? Oh, my watch went off. I burned 1,000 calories today. Sweet. You could also insert a subject. I think this is even better. So if there's a specific subject that you want to touch on, you could say, do you believe Jesus was a historical subject? And most secular people do. Most people do believe that he was a real historical figure, and they say yes. And you could say, do you believe that he was God? No. Well, why don't you believe he was God? Could you explain that? And let the conversation go from there. It is a much more natural and friendly way to go about this, I believe. I hope for me, myself, and others watching, whoever's watching, to be more productive in our conversations and less argumentative, because it can be a habit to love making arguments. But to be more productive in our conversations with others who we might not share the same views, we might not share the same beliefs, but if we are having a productive conversation, it's a mutual benefit thing. I know for certain, because outright arguments never get anywhere. Well, at least I've never seen them get anywhere. In our next video in this series, we are going to look at the endless proofs of our Creator. And we're going to probably start stepping on some toes, but hey, if you need to, you can get a pedicure afterwards. But until my next video, I will see you guys.